So, I've been asked to explain why it is I started wearing nail polish and eyeliner. And it really comes down to an extension of the transformation that I've been going through recently. Now, I've talked about this in the past, and I've got quite a few videos on it on my TikTok, but I grew up in a really, really repressive religion. Mormons have done a great job of mainstreaming themselves, um, but they are a cult. There's no getting around that fact. It is a cult. If you apply the BITE model, biological control, information control, thought control, and emotional control, Mormons hit that all like crazy. And as such, they mold you into this image that they want. Now, I was the good little Mormon child. I did everything that you were supposed to. I was the teacher's quorum president. I was the deacon's quorum president. I was the priest's quorum president. If you're Mormon, you understand what that all means. But I was basically the Sunday school version of the teacher's pet. Um, and I modeled my image after that. If you look at images of me as a younger man, I'm clean shaven. My hair, until I was in my very early 20s, my hair was parted. Um, so much so that my hair just wants to lay like that. Still now, I have to fight with it just to get it to do this. Um, and Without going into too much detail, I had a crisis of faith in my early 20s and I eventually left the church. Now, I am very, very glad that I did that. I just wish that there had been. I wish that I'd given myself permission to get away from it more than I did in my early 20s. Because a lot of the things that were programmed into me because of the church, my very conservative views at the time, the deeply, deeply racist, misogynistic, homophobic, transphobic views that I used to hold, and have had to actively fight against, even to this day. I'm, 15 years removed from the church. I still have those thoughts instinctually, and I have to fight them. So the I've often joked that my my look is, if you were to go into the character creator of any video game and just slap a code D on the base character, you got me. That's how uninteresting I looked. And I, to a degree, modeled my look around that. T-shirt and jeans, ill-fitting t-shirt and jeans. And I have a lot of, personal body issues. I'm not going to say I have dysphoria or anything. But like, I'm not happy with the guy that I see when I look in the mirror, you know? Hell, there was a character in a show that I was in that was based entirely on how gross I looked naked. Um, and I have been sort of exploring myself to a certain degree recently. I have come to reconcile with things about myself that really I should have known. I wished I'd have known much earlier. I think that certain aspects of my life would be much, much more fulfilling if I'd come to these realizations earlier in my life. And I don't really want to go into too much detail about what they are. Suffice it to say, they are core parts of my personality that I had been denying for a long, long time. Um, and coming to coming to realize a little more who I am. felt the need to express that a little bit more. Um, I uh, it kind of started randomly. My wife Beth and I were walking through the Excalibur Hotel, and there was a little store there that sold, uh, among other things, different kinds of jewelry. And uh, they, I saw a couple of things that I liked, and I'm not sure exactly what prompted it, but I kind of thought to myself, well, I kind of want to accessorize a little bit. Um, and another part of it is, and this is kind of a silver lining to the crazy amount of alcohol I had been consuming up to that point. It was it was getting to the point where it was causing me severe health problems. I had severe acid reflux, among other things, and that prevented me from eating a lot. I was eating. I did the math. I had to have been down to under 600 calories a day, um, which for my height and weight is insanely low. And in less than 6 months, I dropped 40 pounds. Now, dropping that weight was good. I needed to drop that weight. I still need to drop weight. I'm still heavier than I should be, but I didn't do it in a healthy way. And so that's something I have to acknowledge. But my clothes were so ill-fitting, like my pants, if I wasn't my jeans, if I wasn't wearing a belt, but they were buttoned and zipped up, you could still pull them off. Um, I and so losing all of that weight and going out, and I had just recently bought a couple new pairs of jeans that fit me much better, that look much better, much nicer pairs of jeans. And I had also gone through my closet and had stuff that I hadn't fit me in 10 years. Suddenly I could wear again, including some very nice suits that I look very good in. And so I decided to, I don't know, I guess I'm just feeling better about my own self-image. And so I felt the desire to express myself a little bit more. And so I ended up picking up some new jewelry. And although the funny thing is, these two necklaces that I'm wearing, I've actually had these for years, but these were part of my Ren Fair costume. This one I actually got at Ren Fair. It's actually a coin that was struck by a coin press at the fair. Um, but I'd slowly been, modifying my look. Now, I have coworkers who I've worked with for better than a decade, and of course, in the is seeing this in their eyes, very sudden change. A lot of them reacted badly. One of my coworkers made fun of me, and in hindsight, that's how she is. That's how she relates to people. If she doesn't make fun of you, she doesn't like you. But she told me I look like a retro porn star. Um, and then one of my one of my coworkers, one of my very close friends, in fact, she actually text messaged my wife and was like, "Hey, what's going on with Ben?" To which my wife responded with, "He's having his midlife crisis and he's not cheating on me. Leave him alone." And that's actually something I've been joking about, is the fact that this is my midlife crisis, but rather than buy a sports car I can't afford or cheat on my wife, I just decided to change my look because divorce is expensive, children. Joking aside, I would never cheat on my wife. Um, but um, the getting to the actual question that I'm answering here, um, somebody asked me about the eyeliner and the nail polish, and again, I had been modifying my look at that point, and I sort of had this image in my head of what I wanted to look like. Um, so I mean, that's, I started cuffing my sleeves. I got wristbands. I have started wearing. Hang on one second. I found a pair of aviator sunglasses that I really like, that I think look really good on me. And I really like this look. And it was funny because I was actually thinking about this later. This actually reminds me very much of the lead singer of Avenged Sevenfold. Anyway, but I had been toying with the idea of wearing nail polish just because it seemed to fit with where the direction I was headed in. And so I wore it for Halloween. Even though the costume didn't really call for it. I dressed as a pirate. You don't really paint your nails dressed as a pirate. But it was the excuse. It was the excuse I used to, okay, I painted my nails for this costume. I like it. I'm going to keep it. And I kept painting my nails. And then the eyeliner was something I kind of looked at myself in the mirror and I'm just like, I should wear eyeliner. Because, I mean, you know, not to brag or anything, but my eyes are one of my best features. Like the only thing I would ever change about my eyes, I'd kind of like to have blue eyes. But my eyes, I have really beautiful eyes, and I know that. I have really beautiful lashes. I haven't jumped to wearing mascara yet. I say yet. maybe that's my next step. But the eyeliner, you know, especially if I do it right, which I think I've done here, it really does highlight my eyes. So I suppose the answer to the question in a roundabout way is I am still, to this day, getting away from the repressive, the repressive thoughts and the repressive things that were programmed into me as a young man growing up in the Mormon church. And this is kind of the result. I feel like when I look at myself in the mirror, I see the person I should have always been. I see who I want to be. And it's not to downplay the experience of transgender people. Please don't think I'm doing this. But when transgender people describe gender euphoria and seeing themselves in the mirror as the person that they are rather than this person that society forced them to be, and they look in the mirror and they see who they really are on the inside, that's kind of what I feel like. I feel like this is how I've wanted to present myself to the world. This is how I want to be. As a matter of fact, I even shortly after starting to wear the jewelry and stuff, we had a hockey game at work, and at work we were allowed to wear things for our team when there's a hockey game in town, and I wore a t-shirt and a ball cap. I didn't wear any jewelry other than my wedding ring. This was before I was wearing eyeliner, before I was wearing nail polish, but I also didn't wear my contacts. I wore my glasses. And when I looked at myself in the mirror, it was very surreal because it felt like I was wearing a Ben costume. And it wasn't who I am. It's never been who I am. And it's gotten to now that I realize that I need to be comfortable with who I am. And this is one of those ways that I'm doing it. So I hope that answers your question. If you have any more questions, please feel free. My NGL link is in my profile. Or actually, it's not in my profile, but you can find my NGL link. So drop a question there if you don't feel like asking it directly. Drop a question in the response because I am going to put this on Twitter. So yeah, just let me know. I'm happy to answer. I won't. There are certain things I won't answer that I'm not comfortable with, but I'll be honest about that. So thanks. Love you.